Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Spiritual Connections by Joelle. I'm your host, Joellele Burns, divine psychic medium, intuitive healer, and alien channeler. Although I haven't been talking to Adam the alien as much lately, but I can always tap into him whenever I need to, so I still use it, guys. It's part of my titles. Today's episode, we are talking about timeline shifts and reality changes. Are we jumping dimensions? The short answer is always. I always love to give my personal experiences and what I've had to better understand dimensions. So when I first got into mediumship, I think it took me a while to realize that the soul that you are right now, even though it feels like your one and only reality because you're living in it, this was really hard for me to grasp that it is just a fragment of your soul. I know, really far out there. That your soul is actually on other dimensions, other planes, on the other side at the same time, all over, but you are choosing this reality to experience right now in this moment. How can I describe that? How do I better explain that? So when you go to heaven and you're on the other side, you have other areas that your soul is living, other planetary existences, alien life forms, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if you choose to be here and have multiple souls living on Earth at the same time. Even that's a hard concept to come and wrap your mind around. My guides are telling me that it is true that people do have multiple existences here on the same timeline that overlap. So that's interesting. How did I come to this? So I was in a private reading with somebody where I was connecting them to a loved one. And when I was connecting to a loved one, I was having a little trouble. So sometimes spirit comes to me so strongly, so loudly, I can understand them perfectly. I get their messages directly, and I'm able to communicate that to the sitter, the person sitting there. Sometimes it's very hard. So the best way I can describe it is if you're having a conversation with somebody in, let's say, I think of a school gym, right? Like a basketball gym area with seating, and say there's nobody else in there, but you're standing one-on-one with talking to somebody, you can communicate very well just standing there having the conversation. Now picture that person on the other side of the gym where they're up against the wall and you're on the other wall and they're trying to communicate. It's a little bit harder. Like you might be able to hear them, but it's also might be fragmented. It's like this distance. So sometimes spirit feels like that. Now I can't tell you exactly why. What I have got and my impressions of when I'm reading and they feel distant, it's for a couple of reasons. A, they just got to the other side, like within days. It can be difficult because they're so involved with transitioning that they have so much to do and so much responsibility that they're just like not able to communicate. They're like partially communicating. The other reason is they've been over on the other side for a long period of time. So when it's been like 30 plus years or 20 plus years or even 10 plus years, sometimes it's just that they get further and further into the other side and they don't forget their earthly body, but it's almost like they distance themselves more and more. So it's like that auditorium, that gym, that they're on the other side. They're just further and further. So I have a little bit more trouble with those, communicating with them. And then lastly is reincarnated. So if they're reincarnated, so this is how I came to that knowing that there are fragments of our soul everywhere and in different timelines and in different dimensions. It makes my mind just like explode. As I was connecting with somebody that I knew, and they told me that they were reincarnated here on earth. And when I was connecting with them, I connect on the soul plane. So I was connecting with the soul on the plane, but while they were here, super, super trippy, and really expanded my consciousness of how our soul actually works. Because I think we think of this limitation on it, right? Like it can only be here, it can only be. But honestly, the other side is limitless. So don't give yourself those boundaries, don't give yourself those limitations, because it is all possible. It is all happening. It is all happening at the same time. So that's when my consciousness opened up to fragments of the soul and where they are. Other scenarios that I have that I'll share with you, so that way you guys can better grasp it and understand it too. I've had matrix slips, so I might do another episode of that, of certain, if you don't know, understand the matrix theory, that this is all made from God, like a simulation, and everything is pretty much projected already, like already out there, and we can have our free will and manipulation of it. But it's pretty much like we're these avatars, and things are set in stone, and it's interesting. So I was going to sleep at night, and this is definitely when intuition, psychic abilities naturally just come up for anybody. So this doesn't just happen to me. So I'm interested to see if it's happened to you. I was going to sleep, and I closed my eyes, and I was in between that, not fully asleep yet and not really awake. And there's a lot that happens during that time for people, like with anything. I was falling asleep, and in my clairvoyant screen, so it's like the screen that you dream, so it's a black screen, and there's this woman sitting in this brown shirt, very beigey outfit, brown, and she's looking at me, and her hair is like a light brown, and it's about shoulder length, and she has similar features to me, but she looks different. And I remember looking at her, and she's, seriously guys, she was looking at me, like really seeing me. It freaked me out, I'll tell you. So she's looking at me, seeing me, and I got the intuitive sense, like the knowing that this is me on another dimension, on another timeline. And I remember once that consciousness, like once that came through and washed over me, it freaked me out, and I opened my eyes. I was like, what was that? Like, that was freaky. It spooked me. I didn't ask what timeline it was. I didn't ask any questions. But I know that the other timeline saw and received me at the same time, and I saw and received them. But it was me. Does your mind not blow with that? Mine does. It just freaks me out. What was the other situation that I had? Oh, I just had this yesterday, guys. So that's why I thought this would be a good episode today, because I just had this experience yesterday. As I meditate daily, I just do that as a practice because of what I do. It just helps me reset. I need to work on myself so I can be the best for you. I'm lying down. I'm doing this guided meditation, which I don't often do. I normally just listen to music. For some reason, I put on this guided meditation. And she has you start relaxing. I'm already grounded. I'm already into it a minute or two with the relaxation. And she said that there's this still lake that's calm as glass, and you're walking up to it. And then you look down at your reflection. And I tell you guys too, if you close your eyes and try to picture your face, it's difficult. Am I the only one that has difficulty like picturing my face, like your features? And I can get a gist of it, but do I know each mole? Do I know each, how my ears are positioned? Do I notice any idiosyncrasies or like my hairline? And it's like, I know it, but so I'm looking at this reflection and I'm having a hard time picturing my own face, but I saw an elderly woman's face, and it felt like this timeline. And she's looking back at me. I'm still listening to this guided meditation, guys. And I'm like, hey, what's up, old me? Like, what's up? And she looked at me and she just was giving me like love and support and telling me that I was doing it, that I was like on the right path. It was really supportive and sweet. And I was like, you're the best. Thank you. Pa, pa, pa. And then I did try to picture my natural face now. So I got that. But then when I forced that on the meditation, guys, if you don't think I'm out there, this is going to be like crazy. All of a sudden, all these faces started showing up in the reflection. All different races, skin tone, hair color, ages. I don't know if they were different sexes. I don't know. But just all different faces. Maybe 20 about surrounded my face that I was picturing. And it was telling me, this is me on other timelines and dimensions. What? I mean, it was pretty cool. And I think not that it's like anything to be scared of or listen, and if you don't believe me, totally fine. I'm not here to prove or disprove. I actually still have doubts with that because it's a harder thing to grasp. I know that a lot of things will be answered when we get to the other side, when we get to heaven, and we'll have that all consciousness and better knowing. But I'd like to believe that it comes in our best timeline and like what, and the other timelines and other dimensions, that we're all supportive of each other. It's all for one purpose of finding ourselves, finding our true path, getting back in line with who we are, and all the things. So I hope that you find your best timeline. I hope you are in your best moment, living your best life. Like, I want this for you all. And I am so very grateful that you listened to today's episode. And I hope you found it interesting about the dimensions and timeline slips. And yeah, we're definitely jumping dimensions and transitioning and all the things. So thank you for joining Spiritual Connections by Joelle. And as always, I want to send you love and light. Dee dee.